What is it?
I don't know.
See? This guy gets it. Hey, weird little thing. I like the way you destroy stuff. Good technique. There's a spark to your work that can't be taught.
Thanks.
All right, you see that one over there? You get that one, I'll get this one. So you can do it faster, okay?
Okay.
Go!
Hi, I'm Nat, he's Matt, and we've got your geek news right here.
And this week it's a preview of a film that is going to be close to the heart of anyone born after 1963.
Because Spike Jonze has directed the adaptation of Maurice Sendak's classic children's book, Where the Wild Things Are, and it looks gorgeous.
Which is probably a weird thing to say about a movie populated mostly with giant Muppets, but there's really no other word for it.
Now, about those Muppets.
Okay, these aren't just any Muppets. Jim Henson's Creature Shop has worked closely with Spike Jonze to make the Wild Things more than just a man in a suit.
Even though they are a man in a suit.
Okay, well in the last decade or so, Henson's company has become the forerunner in CGI practical hybrid effects.
Which in non-movie director speak means the Muppets have CG faces.
Right. But what matters here is that they feel like they're in the scene, in the environment with the actors, just like Yoda was in Episode 5. But they have the amazing expressiveness of Yoda in Episode 3.
Ooh. Now it really does seem like the best of both worlds because the Wild Things just feel real in a way very few movie creatures ever do.
This is our family. I hope you can see how excited they are to have a king. Sometimes they have an odd way of showing it. I mean, they act weird, you know, and can hurt other people's feelings.
Ira, my love!
What?
Come here.
Oh, that's Judith and Ira. They're in love.
What are you thinking?
That's Alexander.
Look, I hate this tree!
78. No, wait, what was that?
That's Douglas.
70?
I count on him for everything.
Well,
I was stranded on a desert island. I could only take one thing, be Douglas.
Maybe the newest thing that you can possibly do right now is something that's actually kind of old, it's kind of real. And, you know, to go back to something, I mean, really, it does feel like something like shockingly different. And you're like, but it's just people in big suits, you know? Why is that so incredible? Why does it blow our minds right now? And it does. And then when you add to it, you know, this incredible cinematography, and then this very offbeat script, and then this incredible actor, and, you know, and then when the effects are finished at the end, you have something that's completely singular and totally unprecedented and wholly realistic and believable and naturalistic, and to the point where you'll be, you know, you'll be on the edge of your seat, I think, a lot of times, because it all feels so real, and you're like, that's a real boy.
We haven't formally met. I'm Ira. I put the holes in the trees. Maybe you saw those?
I didn't set out to make a children's movie. I set out to make a movie about childhood. It actually doesn't seem that interesting to make a movie that you're going to categorize as one thing or another. It's like, it's supposed to be a comedy, or it's supposed to be a drama, or it's supposed to be a children's movie. That seems less interesting than making a movie that's about something and letting that be what guides you.
Here, let me see your face. Ooh, what's that? Don't worry, let me see it.
Now, as amazing as the Wild Things look, they sound equally incredible thanks to an amazing voice cast.
And with a director like Spike Jonze at the helm, he's managed to command talent like Catherine O'Hara and James Gandolfini.
Exactly. Now combine that with a very off-the-wall script, and these are shaping up to be some of the most unique characters we've seen on film in a really long time.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to kill the bad guys by beating them in the head with these dirt clods. We're gonna try to find the biggest pieces.
You didn't see that coming!
You better run!
Hey, wait!
Spike Jonze made me really want to do this movie. I've been jealous of everyone else who got to work with him before this project. We acted all the scenes over and over and over and improvised around them, and, you know, we were together. We were the Wild Things together, so, yeah, I feel like I really was a Wild Thing.
got them pinned down. They can't even move.
And the idea was that the wild things would be wild in every way. They would be destructive and playful, but also emotionally wild. And there was like a wildness to every aspect of the island. It would be dangerous in a bunch of different ways, but also their behavior would be sort of very warm and loving one minute, but then a little bit unsettling the next. And you never know when they're going to cross that line.
Come out!
No!
Why not?
'Cause you're gonna hit us in the head with dirt.
Come out!
No!
Why not?
Because when I said you're gonna hit us in the head with dirt, you didn't say anything! That means you're planning to hit us in the head with dirt!
Man, they really have us figured out.
Even though the original story's been expanded on to make this an entire feature film, at the end of the day, this story already has fans, and it has had for decades.
Which is why this movie needs to be a special kind of faithful to the source material, and with Maurice Sendak acting in the role of producer, it looks like it's going to be just that.
Wild Things was my first big book, full color and text being mine. And there was a big risk because as it was being done, people at the house already were shaking their heads like they're doing with you now.
Yeah.
And the book was banned and it was terrible reviews.
No positive reviews?
No. It became a very famous book, but it took about 2 years before librarians began to see that's all the kids were taking out of the library over and over and over again.
Maurice Sendak was involved in every aspect of this. Maurice really trusted Spike to be the one to do the book justice, and not to be afraid of the book, and not to be too reverent. And I think he and Spike, in very early discussions, really were committed to refanging the book.
It's almost been a film for like 16 to 18 years now, various people who were interested in it, but those people who did not interest me. But then Spike came into my life. He is roughly the age I was when I did the book, and now he's doing his Where the Wild Things Are.
About 4 years ago when I started on it, I just had an idea, you know, how to make my version of it, what the book is about to me in my life. But I definitely didn't want to ever do it unless Maurice was comfortable with it, because it's his creation, it's something he made. I didn't want to take it and make it into something that betrayed what it was to him.
What I've seen him do, he's turned it into his without giving up mine, but embodying mine with Spike Jonze, and astonishing me at how it maintains its peculiarness as a work. What flows through the whole thing is such a strange feeling. I've never seen a movie that looked or felt like this, and it's his personalness.
He said from the beginning that you have to make it dangerous. Make something that respects kids and doesn't talk down to them, or if not, it wasn't worth doing.
There will be controversy about this, but the film has an entire emotional, spiritual, visual life, which is as valid as the book. He's done it like me, whether he's doing it or not, but in a more brilliant, modern, fantastical way, which takes nothing from my book, but enhances, enriches my book.
I am really looking forward to this one. Even though I read this as a kid, I have never seen anything like it.
Exactly, and after some footage was leaked last year, scaring children and concerning parents, there was some worry over whether this version of the film would even be released.
But guess what? That's pretty much how the book was received in the 60s, so I'd say Spike Jonze is pretty much on target so far.
Exactly, so keep your eye on yourgeeknews.com for a review, and let us know what you're expecting from Where the Wild Things Are.
Carol, what's that?
Oh, it's that dog. Don't feed it, it'll just follow you around.